Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've just come back to show you how I made the Shabby chic bee. Okay, so I've got together certain bits and pieces before I sort of started this. Right, I've got some sort of acrylic material there. I've got a little piece of that because you don't actually need very much for the bee, and some of this sort of, I don't know what you call this, velvet. I've got it in a lovely sort of peachy gold colour, and I took another piece and I bleached it so that there'd be a sort of a tone. One was lighter and one was darker. I've got some pieces of lace with a raised surface. Okay. And sometimes sort of like a little piece of trim, any kind of trim, like this, or this, which I quite like. Okay. And also a piece of curtain netting. Alright. Now, what I did is, if you look at a bee, it has a body. It's got a thorax area and the head. Alright, chest area. And you want a wing shape. Alright. I find the easiest way to do that is like folding. You draw it. Like so. Now you can make this bigger or smaller, it's up to you. I haven't got really a point, but you can always trim it up after you've cut it out. Okay, so you end up with this shape. Alright. You want a wing. Now the wing on a bee, it has a sort of straight edge with a bigger bit at the top and a smaller bit at the bottom. It's a little bit like a slightly screwed heart shape. Alright, so you can draw that out and cut out a couple of pieces like this, which I've already done. Alright, so here we have your basic bee shape. I hope you're seeing this. I'll bring it in perhaps a little bit more. Alright. Get my glue out. Now I'm using this very sticky high-tack glue, which I use for fabrics. Okay. Now, the first thing I do is, obviously you're not going to need an awful lot of the pieces that you have. I always make sure there's sort of a rounded edge on whatever I'm doing. Okay. And the first thing you do is you stick like a contrasting shiny piece for the sort of head area of the bee. I find I just have to sort of stick around these sort of edges. I hope you're seeing this. Alright, just stick it down. I know it gets rather messy. Just cut that off because you'll be sort of, once it's dry, you'll be able to cut round it. And the next thing I did was, again, it's sort of making sure you've got a sort of rounded edge. If you've got enough for the bee. Okay, so you stick it over that area just to cover the thorax of the bee. I love gluing and sticking. Okay. Okay, you glue it down nice and firmly. I love this material, but once it's dry it does look really rather effective. All looks a little bit of a mess at the moment, but I love the way it turned out anyway. It's actually we want half of that, so I've got the wrong material there. Silly baggage. Alright. So in other words, you want to sort of have the bee with sort of two toning colours. I always cut it at a slight angle when I'm doing this. Very dusty, this material, when you work with it. Okay, so you glue the next section on. Now where did I put my... There it is. Wrong one again. There we go. Okay, and then you stick on the sort of second part of the bee. So essentially what you're doing is you're sticking the sections on, and when the, you know, you'll be able to trim that off. Okay. And the next part again. Just fit it. Okay. I should be using all the offcuts for this because I'll be making some more bees later on. So I do love making bees. Bees are one of my favourite creatures. Okay. Get it the right way round, lassie. And just stick it down. I mean, I'm just doing this for the demonstration purposes. When it's firmly stuck down, obviously you might want to wait till it's dry, but I'm just going to trim it off now. Okay, very dusty this. Probably quite old material. My mother gave it to me from her stash, as it were. So, okay, how mucky is that? Right, the next thing you do when you've done that, that's sort of like the basic shape that you have, and you know the various layers of colours, and this sort of lovely sort of velvety thing that I've used is I think quite effective. The next are the wings, and the wings normally go about there with the with the larger part facing forward, okay, and the smaller part below, okay. And what I actually did with that was, now I used just the curtain netting before, but for these purposes I'm going to be using